You're listening to Electrician Live with your host, Paul Abernathy. That is me, everybody. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We've been doing this for quite a while now, so again, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you're sharing with all your friends all around the country. We talk everything that has to do with electrical, and we have a live show that broadcasts every Saturday evening at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, so make sure you bookmark us and you can listen to our show. You never know what the topic's going to be unless you venture over to our website, which is electricianlive.com. Of course, if you're in the market for electrical training, preparing for your electrical license or an engineering license or an inspector exam, and it's electrical, then I encourage you to visit our educational website, which is masterthenec.com. Of course, that's available in the .coms, .nets, .orgs as well, if that's how you choose to do your searching. So today's topic a little bit is going to talk about some of the changes that we have incorporated into the Fast Trax program. Now, if you're not familiar with what the Fast Trax program is and you're kind of new to these podcasts, obviously I'll podcast about just about anything in the electrical industry, but we're really well known for our exam preparation. I'm a big believer of studying with a purpose, and so you hear me talk about that a lot if you listen to any of my previous shows or you've watched any of my videos over on our YouTube channel, which again, I'll give you a plug for the YouTube channel. It is www.youtube.com/masterthenec. In fact, to be honest with you, all of our social media platforms utilize the @ symbol and then Master the NEC. So Master the NEC is pretty much how you can find us, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, what have you. All pretty much follow that concept. So the Fast Track program is what's called a structured learning program. So it's a little different than buying books or just getting it, DVDs and things like that. It's designed to immerse you in the process of visualization, seeing the material, the books, the electronic edition, and following along. It has a feature that allows it to read it to you, and it has kind of as it reads the words, it highlights the words, kind of like follow the bouncing ball. And the whole process is really called ballistic learning or ballistic training, where it's trying to penetrate all the senses. You hear it, you see it, and it follows this concept of repetitious learning, whereas you see the material, you read it, and you hear it, and you do it over and over again in the context of how the program's laid out, and you really start to absorb the material. And it's good because, cramming for tests a week before is not the way to go, especially if you intend to actually use that information as you move further into the field. You might get lucky and stumble past an exam and think you're doing a great job. Then all of a sudden down the road, you have issues that you need to understand how to maneuver the National Electrical Code, how to interpret it, how to understand it, how to really be able to find things in it effectively. Because again, sometimes the National Electrical Code can be quite a difficult document to maneuver. And so again, learning it and feeling comfortable with it versus cramming for an exam is two different things. Now, the program is designed to provide the student with an immersion of reading material, listening material, incorporated videos, and a lot of test questions, an awful lot of test questions. So if you're not familiar with that program, we obviously have a 24-hour demo program, which you can request a demo of it. It's a very watered down version of it because we don't turn on all the features. But you get access to what we'll open up to you under the demo. Or you go over to the website, again, masterthenec.com. Or I guess you could go to electricalcodeacademy.com as well, whatever your flavor. And you click on the courses and you'll see the drop down, or you hover over the courses and you'll see the drop down and you'll see where it talks about the Fast Trax program. And when you go there, there's a demo there. You can watch a little demo. And I believe on the demo page is a little demo. Kind of gives you a video of what's in the program. But it's a lot of reading material. It's built on the platform of the Illustrated Guide to the National Electrical Code. And we've added a lot of input content where necessary to help hammer home some of the lessons. Of course, you do what's called, there's quite a few units in it, 5 sections, and, in each section has multiple units. And you really work through the basics of understanding all the way up through dwellings and then commercial and things like that. All what you need for the basic concepts for the exam. And then you test out with it. So there's a test bank of practice questions, which are probably some of the best questions you can get. And they replicate you doing an exam. And then, of course, you have end-of-unit quizzes. You have the competency reviews, which are graded by us here at Electrical Code Academy. So we'll give you feedback on how you get them right or wrong and try to help you that way. And we can tell whether or not you've really read the material or you're kind of just winging it. And then we'll give some, I like to say, fatherly advice to how you should approach that. But it takes dedication. But good news is you do it at your own pace. You got access to it for 365 days. And it's really, I tell people, when you're preparing for an exam, you really have to do it with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? You can't just open up a code book and start flipping through the code book. It's really not the way to approach it, because as you're flipping through, your attention span usually gets lost on one specific topic or something, and it just means that you're just not getting the full immersion than when you would with a structured program. Now, structured program is going to take you through each unit, and it's going to have end-of-unit questions, reviews, and then once you're done, you're going to have an end-of-section exam, and then you move into the next unit, and you logically just move your way through it. And it's laid out in a way, and the content inside of it is broken down in a way that you can retain the information. So I don't know of any course that really does that. Now, you can listen to DVDs that simply regurgitate the code to you, or you can have something that immerses you in it, and things like that. So that's what that program's like, the Fast Trax. Now, what we've done for the latest update to the Fast Trax program is to incorporate some more basic concept information. In other words, Ohm's Law, some Ohm's Law examples, videos, some current, and explaining current, understanding current, and it kind of throws it in there. And then, of course, we talk about things like series and parallels and all that stuff as good additional, what we call electrical theory stuff. And again, every exam will have some type of electrical theory in there. Something will be thrown in there. Whether it's a simple lamp and they want to know what the load is, they'll give you the voltage and everything like that. So there is always going to be some of those basic electrical theory stuff in there, which we tend to take for granted. Once we get our license, we get out in the field, we really don't think much about it. But if I'm installing a lot of luminaires and they have a certain wattage, well, I've got a certain circuit, it's important for me to know how many luminaires I can put on that circuit. And of course, I know the watts. If I know the watts, and all those type of things, and then I can work this out. I can work the question out if I needed to find out how many amps it's going to draw. If I know the voltage, I know the wattage, then I can work it out. So those programs will kind of go over the basics with that. And of course, we spend more time teaching you the code because while it's good to add that extra information in there, the concept is by the time you get to the Fast Trax program, you already have your hours in, you've been through a program, you're just having trouble with calculations, or you're just having trouble maneuvering through the code book and learning the basic code fundamental concepts of the code, like securing and supporting and different types of wiring methods and how to navigate. So previously, the thought was you really didn't need anything like some Ohm's Law stuff or some things like that. But to show you that we're always listening to our students, we have incorporated in to the program now some videos on Ohm's Law and current, things like that, amps, things like so. We've incorporated that into the program, so hopefully that'll be more helpful. We're always adding things to the program. Any of the students ask, we will always try to add things in there. Students wanted a module on transformers, And so we incorporated our Transformer series into the program. And then, of course, many people are aware that we're over on Patreon doing our 2020 National Electrical Code review. And so what the Fast Trax program is based on the 2017 code. When you do the exam questions, they are based on 2014 or 2017. So it'll give you both references. But we're looking for the 2020 edition to come out in the next couple weeks. Of course, this broadcasting is on in April. So we're looking hopefully by the end of April, 1st of May, to have the 2020 edition of Fast Trax out, although most states are still on the 2017, or even on the 2014, we'll be cycling out to the 2017. So again, the 2017 Fast Track program is still going to be very relevant, and we keep adding to that. Once the 2020 edition comes out, we won't stop adding to it. We'll continually add content as we feel necessary in the program. So I look forward to that. So the Fast Trax program is always being enhanced. Now, who's a person that would be a prime candidate for the Fast Trax program? Well, that program, again, is for an apprentice, journeyman. It's for anybody that's looking up engineering students. It's because generally the engineering students get very little education on the National Electrical Code. So it's a really good program for engineering schools and engineers to get involved in while they're studying, because it kind of gives them that edge. Because again, even designing an electrical plan as an electrical engineer, you have to know the National Electrical Code. And I answer an awful lot of questions for engineers on the National Electrical Code. And when I went through engineering school, we did not have any core curriculum for the National Electrical Code. I just was an NEC geek anyway. But at the end of the day, you really need to know the fundamentals. It's going to help you in your design and your understanding and the scope of that. So we offer that to engineers as well, all through the program. So you can, again, you can find out more about the program. We offer a residential and a commercial program and an industrial program, as well as grounding and bonding and those things like that. We're always adding new courses. We even have an Electricity 101 course, which will really get you down into the basic core roots, right, of the atom, the protons and neutrons and the electrons and all that good stuff. We have all that. And so I encourage you to check us out. A lot of people ask, is it accredited? It is not. These are all voluntary courses. We do have a portal in partnership with My CEU Depot for you to get all your continuing education, whether it's engineering, a lot of PDUs for engineers in there, plumbers, mechanical guys, as well as obviously electricians in the various states. And not in every state. There's some states that don't have online education. There's some that's very limited. But usually our partner has a pretty good breadth of courses that are tied to us, and you can get through it through our portal on our websites. There's a portal underneath the courses. You'll see continuing ed, and you can get there as well in case you need to renew your license and things like that. Really inexpensive. It's good value for those as well. So, at any rate, that's just kind of a little update. We're always tweaking the Fast Trax program, and we are taking, again, we have some companies that will get what's called a block for their entire company. And we will put that entire company in one block by itself. That way we can generate reports for the company, and we can send it to whoever the administrator is of your company so that you can see how all of your apprentices are doing or all your journeymen are doing. And it keeps them all learning at the same path so that you don't have common mistakes on a job site where one guy's doing something else and the other's doing the other. It keeps them uniformed and things like this. So it kind of keeps unity within the company's scope. So we've had companies that'll purchase a block of the residentials or the commercials, and some of them have purchased blocks for the Fast Trax program because they've got masters or journeymans or even apprentices that are going to either tap out and go up to a journeyman or go up to a master, or masters would become a foreman. So they need to increase their knowledge of the code a little bit better because they're going to be heading big projects. So they might already have a license, but they need to enhance their knowledge of the NEC, maneuverability of the NEC, how to do more calculations and things like that. So as many uses for these programs as there is positions out there. So hopefully, if you have any questions about our program, now we also do sample our demos every Wednesday evening at 7:30 Central Standard Time, but sometimes it will be as much as late as 8 o'clock, depending, because those aren't real formal. The Saturday shows, which is Electrician Live, that is formal. It's 8 o'clock Central Standard Time every week. The topics of that week's show are available at electricianlive.com, so you can see what the topics are going to be. But, some of the other stuff that we do, it's less formal. And so you can get some good education from that as well. Be sure to visit over on our YouTube channel and look at all the videos and the podcasts. We share all of our podcasts there. Obviously, you can listen to our podcasts on Spotify, Spreaker, Deezer, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all those other different types of platforms. We're all over those platforms as well. iHeartRadio is another one that we're on. So you can listen to our stuff pretty much anywhere. So again, we also take requests. So if you have something you'd like to see a future show, you'd like something, a video done on something that you think would benefit the rest of the industry, or you just have questions, we're always encouraging people to send in ideas and concepts and questions, and we'll do our best to help you out. Of course, you can go to our website and you have a Contact Us button on there if you'd rather do that than to use the email. But if you want to email again, it's info at masterthenec.com, and we'll get those requests or ideas or questions and do our best to try to answer them for you. Anyway, I hope you got something out and enjoyed today's episode. It wasn't a real long episode, but again, we covered quite a bit when it comes to what the Fast Track program's, what's new about it. Okay, so again, you have any questions, please, by all means, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll do our best to try to answer those questions for you. Till next time, folks, stay safe. God bless. You've been listening to Electrician Live with your host, Paul